Hi everyone, Pastor Michael Linderman here from the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer in Ramsey, New Jersey, Vice Pastor of Calvary Lutheran Church in Allendale also. It's Wednesday and we read Psalms on Wednesdays, and so today I'd like to read Psalm 139. I'm going to read part of it for you. Today, by the way, is the 9th of September. Happy official start to September's energy and activity. I'm going to read to you part of Psalm 139, so not the whole thing, but if you follow along, you'll see which verses I'm reading. Psalm 139. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? For it was you who formed me in my inmost parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God! How vast is the sum of them! I try to count them. They are more than the sand. I come to the end. I am still with you. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. See if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. I've read to you verses 1 through 7, 13 through 18, and verses 23 and 24. This is a wonderful psalm about the inescapable God, the God who is with us always and never leaves our side. And the poet is able to evoke in this psalm the idea of how ever-present God is, no matter where you go, no matter what you're going through, no matter what time of your own lifespan that you're talking about, whether it be in the past or whether it be in the future, or in the present. God is everywhere and always with us. And so the poet is really putting flesh on that idea and really giving us a strong taste of what it means to accept and to know that God is always with us and never leaves us or abandons us in any way. And so that's the point of the psalm. The psalm begins, "You have searched me and known me." And that first line is just an admission that God knows us through and through, and even there may be parts that we consider mysterious to ourselves. There are parts of ourselves that we do not fully understand and that we don't know or recognize or understand, but they're all known to God. So we are fully known by God, and there's this action right in the first verses of the psalm. You search out my path and my lying down. So in other words, God's with us wherever we go. God is like the snooping on the path in front of us. God is clearing the way when we lay down. God is always with us, around us. You hem me in, behind and before. You lay your hand upon me, in verse 5. That might sound claustrophobic, a little too close for comfort, but this is an affirmation of God's presence with us, and it's meant to convince us of how ever-present God really is. Where can I go from your spirit, in verse 7? Where can I flee from your presence? Those are rhetorical questions. Of course, the answer is nowhere. You can't go anywhere and not be with God. And I've skipped several verses here, going down to verse 13. You formed me in my inmost parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. So even at the time of my creation, as a human being. God is intimately aware of me and knows me already. There's some belief here in kind of a predestination. My ways are known to you. You know where I'm. It's almost as if you know where I'm going to end up. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me. So this idea that this is a little heavy in the idea of predestination, but I think that we can understand these verses and this one in particular as saying that not that God knows everything that's going to happen to us, but that God knows our path in a way that we don't. And and if God knows my path, and God promises to be with me, and and there's nowhere I can go without God and be without God, then I can trust in God's presence with me, no matter what happens to me in my life. So we have to. I like to look at it that way. I don't believe that everything that happens to me is written down in the book, as it says here in your book, were written all the days that were formed for me. That could go on for a while, or it could not. I don't know. But whatever it is, God knows it, and it's with God. My whole life is with God and caught up in God, and therefore I can't do anything or have anything happen to me that isn't that isn't happening to me with God present with me, and that's a comfort. And then in this last part of the middle section, how weighty to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. The psalmist has been reflecting on this philosophical idea, or theological idea too, that God is ever present and present with us always. And it's kind of blowing his mind. And so he's admitting to that. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God. This is incredible to imagine. But it is possible to imagine that this is the way God is. And so what a gift to human beings to be able to think about God in this way. This is what is so special about God's relationship with human beings as part of creation. Other parts of creation don't reflect on this relationship and the nature of God and the nature of God's creation, but humans do. And that's part of what makes us special. I try to count them. I count the weighty thoughts of God, right? He's trying to weigh them. They're more than the sand. I come to an end and I get to the end of my thinking and I'm still with you, God. So even no matter what you can think, no matter where your imagination can take you, when you stop thinking, there you are with God. God is present. God is with you. You are not alone. And then we skip a few verses and then we get to these last two. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. So Lord, the psalmist is almost saying, I've been trying to search you, God, and imagine the limits to your being and the extent of your presence. And I failed. Now the psalmist invites God to do the same to him. You know me. Now search me. Please, Lord, come into my heart and get to know me completely. Know all of my, the mysterious aspects of my personality and character, my heart, and also those parts that are known to me. Know them better than I know myself. And we believe that's true. See if there's any wicked way in me, let's root that out, Lord. If I'm wrong or mistaken, if I'm thinking in the wrong vein, lead me in the way everlasting. So there is a way to walk with God and to be in God's presence always. That's true. But to know that you're in God's presence, that's the trick. And to allow that to seep into ourselves and into our souls. And lead us in the way everlasting. May this be a blessing to you this Wednesday in September.